Yeah.
So let's get the obvious out of the way here. You're going to want to use bicep curls to grow your biceps. You should be incorporating different variations of curls, with the main difference between these variations being number one, the degree of shoulder flexion or extension you're in while you're curling, and number two, which part of the range of motion has the strongest resistance. Shoulder flexion and extension just refer to how far your arm is in front of or behind your body, and the ranges of motion that we can emphasize can either be when the muscle is lengthened, when it's in its mid-range, or when it's shortened. So you can see with this first preacher curl variation, my arm is out in front of my body, and the most resistance is being placed on the biceps towards their lengthened position, which actually yields better hypertrophy or muscle growth than emphasizing other parts of the movement like the mid or end ranges. So I do suggest doing most of your volume emphasizing the lengthened position. However, it should be noted that the biceps aren't actually fully lengthened here since I'm in shoulder flexion, but we'll get to a fully stretched variation in just a moment. So even though overloading the lengthened position does yield greater results, I believe that variety is the spice of life, so don't be afraid to throw in some curls which emphasize those mid and end ranges like this one right here. As you'll see, my upper arm is parallel to my torso, which takes tension away from the stretch position and places it at the mid and end ranges. And then lastly, we have a cable curl and shoulder extension, which places a huge stretch on the biceps by putting them into their fully lengthened position. The degree of shoulder extension that I'm in here is a little bit excessive, so you don't have to go this far. Just go to the point where you feel a big stretch in your biceps. And I know you can't really see the cable, but I have the cable set up to a little bit higher than hand height because that places greater tension in the stretch than if it were set up at floor height. So now that you have all your variations selected, be sure to push hard and train really close to failure, somewhere in the 5 to 30 rep range, keeping no more than 3 reps in the tank on each set, and using a load that's somewhere between 30 and 85% of your 1 rep max for that particular exercise, with good technique, of course. Add sets, reps, load, or some combination thereof over the course of many weeks and months, and you're on your way to having big biceps.